Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this evening's call. I want to thank you for taking that time for you on a Thursday to join us. For those of you who are guests, I want you to do me a favor in the chat, if you don't mind, put in your name and who invited you. We often get guests that come on, and sometimes all we see is an ID, a Zoom number, an iPhone, but no name. So do us a favor. Just take the time at some point during the presentation, put in the chat your name and who you were invited by. This way, they'll know that you're in there. Thank you for it. Remind everyone that during the first part of this presentation this evening, you're going to be on mute and we're going to keep the cameras off because we are recording. And we also want to make sure not to interfere with the live streaming of this call. So again, please bear with us as we go through the presentation, but I do want to thank you again. Before I get started, I want to again welcome all of the guests as well as all of our partners from all around the world. We thank you for your time. And you are in for a treat tonight. You were invited by someone who cares about you because they're sharing something with you that is literally life-changing. I know we hear that a lot. We kind of use it casually when we say things are life-changing. But in my lifetime, I've been involved in different businesses and I've seen different products, services. I've seen different things, but never ever experienced thing that I'm experiencing today with this opportunity I'm going to share with you. We're going to be talking today about a technology that is changing the face of science, is changing the face of how we live and how we deal with things. And I'm going to mainly focus on your physical wealth. When I say physical wealth, your health is your wealth. When you think about it, because what if you had an opportunity to have $1 million, but you're on medications, you're going back and forth to the doctor, you're constantly in pain, you can't really enjoy life. How does that sound? Doesn't really sound too appealing. That is why you hear about people that have a lot of money, but they're not very happy. Again, that's because they don't have the joys of life. But what if you have an opportunity to have your health and wealth? Well, guess what? You're going to have that today because we are on a mission to eradicate bad health and bad finances in our communities, and we have the answer. Today, we'll be talking about this little patch. It's about the size of a quarter, and it's almost like a bandage because it has an adhesive on one side, and the other side is, it's a technology that was recently developed by a gentleman I'm going to talk about in a minute. But this patch is what we call a miracle patch. I know in our lifetime we talk about finding the fountain of youth. This is the closest thing I've seen to talking about the fountain of youth because of what it does. So I'm going to talk about this, but I'm going to start off by sharing with you a short video. The video is only about 3 minutes. Now, this video is going to explain to you why this patch is so important, why people are so excited about sharing it with you, and how not only can you use it to improve your physical health, which is your wealth, by the way, how about have an opportunity to change your financial legacy? This opportunity is going to do that, and you're going to hear why. By the time I'm finished with this presentation, there are two things I can guarantee you. One, you're going to have all information that you need to make an informed decision as to why you should first and foremost want to get your hand on this little device called an X39 stem cell patch. But also, you're going to find by the end of the presentation why, out of all the things that you could be doing today, if you ever wanted an opportunity to be at the right place, the right time, the right people, in the right company, you are at that moment in your time. This is your moment. So I'm going to start off by showing this video. After the video, I'm going to come back on the other side and explain to you why that is important that you hear about this patch, why you want to get your hands on it, what it can do for you and your family. Then after that, I'm going to go right into how you can get compensated for wealth. So give me 1 second as I pull up this video. Sit back, relax, take notes if you must. But again, I will see you after this video.
You gonna have any real astronauts with you?
Here we go.
In a world searching for answers, one discovery is changing everything. A patch, no bigger than a quarter, built not to treat symptoms, but to wake up the healer inside you. This is X39, a wearable, light-activated patch. Designed by David Schmidt, an inventor with over 200 patents. His mission? To reverse aging naturally, this isn't science fiction. It's stem cell activation without injections, without pills. Your body repairing itself. The results? Life-changing energy, recovery, sleep, relief. And the medical world, it's taking notice. Still skeptical? Visit thisisaninfo.com. You'll find the studies, the patents, the proof. It's all there. But there's more. This tiny patch isn't just transforming lives, it's creating freedom, because behind it is a business model built for the bold. Real people, real results, income that scales with impact. And here's why. Because this breakthrough technology is patented and exclusive, it offers a lucrative business plan that allows you to compound your efforts. More people than ever are struggling in today's economy. You can no longer rely on your own sweat equity alone to make a living. This business model allows you to duplicate yourself, and even better, to benefit from other people's efforts. So your income no longer depends solely on you. By duplicating yourself over and over, the income potential is far greater than a conventional job, career, or profession. And you're never alone. The This Is It system gives you the tools, the path, the team. All you have to do is start. The question is no longer if it works, it's whether you'll act or let this moment pass. Will you keep waiting or finally feel your body come alive again? Will you stay financially stuck or build something that lasts? Isn't it time to start living life on your own terms? The This Is It action plan will set you on a path to live out the dreams you have for your family. Get back with the person who shared this video so you can experience the age-reversing health and the exciting lifestyle that thousands are already enjoying. This is the technology, this is the team, and this is your moment. This is it.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was the video. Hopefully, you got a lot out of it. In fact, that's very impactful. Again, I've been in shared a lot of information in the past, but again, if you really just paid attention to what you just heard and what you're going to see, what I'm going to explain over the next 30 minutes is actually going to pale in comparison to what that video covered. But nonetheless, it's going to give you more detail. It's going to give you more understanding. And again, by the time you finish this presentation, you will understand fully why you were invited to hear this information. So let me reshare my screen and get right into the presentation. We're going to talk about a company called LifeWave, but we also mainly going to talk about the X39 stem cell patch. And imagine if you could harness the power of light to heal your body. Well, guess what? That time has come. We are now in a position to share and change people's lives because of this tiny patch. So my question to you is, if you are here on the first time, if you are a guest, remember in the chat, so during the course of the presentation, put your name, if you haven't already done so, put your name in the chat and indicate who invited you. So this way we know who you are and we can get back to you. But again, here's my question. Have you been patched yet? If you have not been patched yet, I guarantee you by the time I'm finished, if you listen very closely to what I'm going to share with you, and you understand the power of this patch, you will want to get back to the person tonight immediately. Don't let them go to sleep and say, listen, I need to get my hand on those patches. I want to change my life. I want to improve my life. And I want to be a healthy, wealthy person. So this gives you the opportunity. So why are we talking about this patch called X39? Because by the time we turn 30, half our stem cells becoming inactive. By the time we turn 60, nearly all of our stem cells are inactive. Why is that so important? It's important because the stem cells, they make up the tissues and the organs in our bodies. They're the body's intended repair system. That is why when you're young, if you break a leg or arm, you remember how quickly you got into a cast, and once you got out of the cast, you was out playing again like nothing had happened. If you've ever bruised your knee, got a scrape or a scar from playing on the ground, falling, you notice and remember how quickly you repaired it. Just remember how quickly children repair and recover. That is because they have active stem cells. But what happens when we get older? Between the ages of 30 and 60, don't you notice some things changing? Don't you notice that if you get an injury now, instead of taking a few days, a few weeks to heal, it may be months before it heals, if it heals at all. And let's talk about what happens when we turn 60 and above. Now, if you break a leg or arm, it's not just it doesn't get repaired, it generally gets replaced. I have a lot of friends who have knee replacements, hip replacements. One of my friends, we refer to him as the Bionic Man because he had two hip replacements. I'm sorry, two knee replacements and a hip replacement. And again, because when we get older, our body does not heal itself. So that is why your stem cells are important. That is why this technology is important, because millions of people are experiencing the effects of aging. We all have friends. I have some friends that look really cool coming down the street. They're walking with a certain limp, and they're not trying to be cool. They just have to compensate for all of the things that happen to us as a result of aging. Not to mention that we're being attacked by the water. It's not the same that we used to drink. It's not as clean, it's not as pure. The food that we eat is definitely not the same. The minerals have been depleted from our soils. We have a lot of foods made in laboratories. In fact, a lot of the ingredients that we use here in the US are banned in other countries. That is how bad they are. And all those things attack our body, not to mention the air from Canada. Here in New York, New Jersey area, we got hit with smoke that came from Canada. People on the West Coast getting hit with the smoke from California from all the fires. That smoke becomes ash, that ash becomes airborne, and that airborne winds up in our bodies and our lungs. So we are under attack on all fronts, but we have a solution. And if you don't mind, just remember to stay on mute. Let me just make sure that we're all on mute because we are recording and we don't want to interfere with the recording of it. So let's talk more about, okay, why X39? Because again, it impacts effective aging. How did this patch work? Very simply, it is a proprietary form of phototherapy. Phototherapy is not new. If you think about it, I can remember as a kid, I would take a magnifying glass and I would hold it just at a certain angle to the sun. Light would come from one end of the glass, go through the other, and it would actually burn a hole in the leaf. That's the power of the sun. That's the power of light. Even if you go back hundreds and thousands of years, light therapy was used for different things. But again, it's proprietary, which means that it's a patent. I mean, you can only get it from someone who's affiliated with this company. Again, it's patented. It's nanocrystal. Nano simply means small. Crystals are reflective of the ingredients. The ingredients include organic salt, sugars, plant-based materials, and amino acids. Now, it's not FDA approved, but it is FDA registered. And the reason it's not FDA approved because it is not a drug or chemical. It is a technology. And I'm going to show you that this patch helps you heal yourself. Now, it's non-transdermal, which means it doesn't penetrate the skin. It reflects light to activate things in something in our body called a copper peptide. In particular, if you're taking notes, jot this down: GHKCU. The copper peptide is actually a protein in the body that actually helps rebuild stem cells. In fact, it was discovered back in 1973. Another scientist, his name is a scientist by the name of Laurent Picard. At the age of 5, he told his mother that he was going to find a cure for cancer because he watched his grandmother die from cancer. So he committed his life to trying to find a cure for cancer. He did not find a cure for cancer, but he is the one who discovered the copper peptide. In fact, what he discovered is that if you can figure out a way to activate your copper peptides, it will wake up those dormant stem cells I was telling you about. And guess what? That's exactly what this patch does. And just to give you an analogy, think about how we get vitamin D. I know some people think we get vitamin D from the sun. And you're partly right. What happens is there's certain wavelengths of light from the sun that when it hits our body, it activates the vitamin D that is already in our bodies. God has given us a body to heal itself. We just need somebody to come along to figure out how to make it work. And guess what? We have that answer for you today. There's no drugs or chemicals. I love that fact. Again, you don't have to worry about what I call the pharmaceutical cartels who give us drugs and they give us treatments. And I have a lot of respect for doctors, but they spend a majority of their time learning how to treat, not to prevent. So when you go to your doctor and you tell them what you have, they look at the chart and they diagnose this. Okay, because you have XYZ, I'm going to recommend you take this particular drug. Sometimes they get it wrong. Sometimes they recommend things for us that make it worse. In fact, one thing I noticed about watching some of these commercials about these drugs, as they call, and have you ever noticed, or is it just me, that when they have these commercials, they're always very colorful, the bright colors. Everybody seems to be happy and gay. They're engaging in some activity of having fun. Everything seems to be just well. They tell you all the benefits of this new drug you're going to take, but what the big print giveth, the small print taketh away. So they tell you that the particular drug is going to help you deal with this pain, this issue that you may have. But if you read the small print, it says things like could cause cancer, stroke, heart attack, and even death. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like those kind of odds. And again, a lot of times you may go to your doctor, he recommends a drug for you. You try to use it, and it even makes you worse, or it doesn't work at all. You come back to the doctor and say, hey, listen, doc, this thing is not really working for me. And the doctor may say, okay, let's try something else. Because again, they don't have all the answers. As again, I have a lot of respect for doctors. They're good at diagnosing what's wrong, but they don't spend a lot of time figuring out how to prevent it. They'll tell you how to deal with it, how to live with it. And sometimes in some cases, they'll tell you that there's no answer for what you have. We're going to prove them wrong in that case. So again, no drugs or chemicals involved, 100% non-invasive. That is powerful because again, we don't need any more drugs in our bodies. We already see the different effects now. Here is a gentleman, they mentioned in the video. Just to run through very quickly, David Schmidt is the CEO and inventor of this technology. He's a scientist and inventor. He specializes in age reversing technology. Back in 2008, when stem cells was the buzzword, everybody was getting stem cell injections. However, stem cell injections are very costly. We had a young lady who was going to get stem cell injections. They told her it was $24,000 per injection, and she needed 4 for that year. There's no guarantee that they work. They're generally extracted from harvested fetuses or foreign bodies. So anytime you put a foreign thing in your body, anything foreign in your body naturally reacts to it. It either accepts it or rejects it. So there's a big risk when you get in stem cell shots. It's usually only on localized area. There's no guarantee it works. It's not covered by any medical insurance or coverage. In fact, some people have to go out of the country to get it. Now, in 2008, David focused his attention on stem cell research. He spent 10 years and $4.5 million of his own money to bring this to market. And after 38 trials, on trial 39, guess what? He figured out the formula to figure out how to activate those dormant stem cells. Between Lauren Picard in 1973, who came from a family of priests and clergy, they told him that anytime you have a challenge, pray about it. Again, and he prayed about it, and that's how he discovered the copper peptide. Well, guess what? David's a man of faith. He spent 10 years, again, $4.5 million of his own money, and he figured out the code using codes from the Bible, codes from mathematics, codes from ancient papers that he went through. He figured it out, and that is why we have this technology today. Now, it's a patent. Again, as you know, you cannot get a patent for something if it does not work. Let me say that again. You cannot get a patent for something that does not do what it says it does. Now, what does the patent say? It says it's a wearable phototherapy apparatus. Again, remember, it's not a drug or chemical that produces beneficial effects to the body, the human body, such as activation of stem cells, improvement in strength, improvement in stamina, pain relief via this non-transdermal relief. About this non-transdermal container, as they call it. This non-transdermal container reflects or emits specific wavelengths of light to elevate levels of copper peptide in the body. Remember I said earlier that we get vitamin D because the sun hits certain wavelengths of light. When it hits our body, it wakes up the vitamin D that is already in us. Guess what? We already have stem cells. They're just dormant. And they're sitting there waiting to be awoken. So once David figured out how to activate the copper peptides, now the stem cell starts to wake up. And guess what? Once they wake up in the body, it does all kind of things. And that's what we're going to talk about. I must make one disclaimer that LifeWave products are not intended to diagnose. That's what the doctors do. We don't treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. What this patch does, it wakes up something that is already in us, and the stem cells go to work for us once we do that. Now, let's talk about the benefits of X39 very simply. Increase in strength, reduce inflammation, energy and vitality improves, increase in stamina. Your mental clarity kicks in. How many of you have had the experience where you walked into a room and you forgot why you walked into the room? Well, how about this? I was in a room and somebody walked into the room holding his cell phone in their hand, and they were saying, I cannot, they was talking on the phone, and they said, I can't find I can't find my cell phone. I can't find my cell phone. I'm going to say stem cell. But the bottom line is mental clarity improves. In fact, I'm going to share with you physical proof. We took a brain scan. The company took a brain scan of a 77-year-old woman who was a long-term physical instructor who had migraine headaches, and she tried everything: acupuncture, sleep, hypnosis, drugs, chemicals, supplements. None of them work for her. I'm going to share a video which you show that it works in the brain. If it works in the brain, guess what? It's going to work in the rest of the body because our body's made up of stem cells throughout. It restores your muscle and skeletal conditions. So improvement in sleep, improvement of skin appearance. I mean, there's so many testimonies of things that have happened to people that we don't have enough time to do it all. But the bottom line is these are just some of the benefits of wearing the X39. Here's that brain scan I was telling you about. In the first session on the far left, you see the reddish orange area in the brain. That represents inflammation in the brain, lack of brain coherence. That is why we get brain fog, lose memory, all kind of things happen when the brain gets in that state. So when the first time she went, they put a patch on the back of her neck. She wore it. I'm going to tell her how to wear the patch, how to use it. And they actually monitor. So they had her wear the patch every day. And then in 3 weeks, she came back for session number 2. They did another brain scan. Look what happens in the second session in the middle of your screen. No more inflammation. Improved brain coherence. Memory starts to kick in. Now look what happened after 6 weeks. Complete turnaround. Complete brain coherence. I want you to understand what you're looking at is the scan of someone's brain, which represents, it's representative of their stem cells. And because we have stem cells throughout our body, if this is happening in the brain, what do you think is happening in the heart? What do you think is happening in your liver, your kidneys, your bones, your blood? I mean, we've had people that got off of blood medication. We've had people that have had that avoided surgery. We've had people that were near death and literally almost brought back to life because of the benefits of this patch. So again, this is just part of it. This is the facts to back up what I've been sharing with you now. Let's talk about long-term results. Now, in the first few days, 4,000 genes have been getting reset. That's very important because they said if you drink a glass of red wine, you can reset 2 genes. Can you imagine drinking 2,000 glasses of wine to try to reset 4,000 genes? It's not going to happen, right? And that's critical because in the first few days, you'll notice certain things because of that. That's very critical. Within 6 weeks, your brain becomes balanced. I just showed you physical proof of that. So does that happen in the body, the brain? What's happening in the rest of the body? Within 3 months, your collagen is increased. Now that's very important because as an athlete, I played basketball at semi-professional as well as at a high level. And it's very important as an athlete that you have good collagen for your knees, your joints, but it's also important to the rest of your body because collagen is important throughout our body. It's like the glue to our body. It's what keeps everything together. It's in all of your organs. That is why people are buying collagen supplements and they're taking collagen injections and doing all kind of things to their bodies. But guess what? Your body already has collagen. You just need to be awoken through this technology. And that's what happens within 3 months. Now, within 6 months, you already talked about the brain. Look what happens to the heart. Within 6 months, your heart reverses in age. According to the inventor, David Schmidt, he says for every decade that you live, you should be wearing a patch for a minimum of 1 month. So if you're 60 years old, you should wear the patch at a minimum of 6 months. And that's just to get started. I've been wearing it for almost 3 years now. I'm going to be wearing it for the rest of my life because who wouldn't want to continue to reverse the age as they got older? As I said earlier, or as I said in one of my posts, what do I want to be when I get older? You know, my answer is younger. And that's what this patch is doing for me. So your heart reverses in age by approximately 8 years. Now you have, when I say 8 years, I'm talking about vascular age. Now you have your heart, your physical age. If you're 50 years old, that means you have 50 trips around the sun. You're 50 years of age. However, but if you took care of your body, you ate right, you didn't smoke or drink, you exercised, you avoided the stresses of life, guess what? You would have the vascular age of somebody in their 40s. That is why you see some people who are older and seemingly are younger because of what they do, because of activity, because they have what's called a great healthy vascular age. But you can be the opposite. You can be 50 years old, or you can be 30 years old, and somebody think you're 50 because you didn't eat right, you didn't exercise, you smoked, you drank, you had a stressful life. So you have the vascular age of somebody that could be in their 40s or 50s, even 60s. So your vascular age improves by 8 years for every 6 months that you wear the patch. You saw what happened with the brain. Imagine what it's doing for the heart. And as David said, it's not age reverse, it's not anti-aging, it's age reversing. And that's a quote by David Schmidt, the inventor of the patch himself. Now, let's talk about how to wear the patch. You might be able to see it. I actually have a patch on the side for demonstration. But again, you can wear the patch for 12 hours on and 12 hours off. You put the patch on, let's say 8 o'clock in the morning. You wear it for 12 hours. You take it off at 8 o'clock at night, right? You throw that patch away. It has an adhesive on the side, just like a bandage. You get rid of it, and you let your body repair and rejuvenate because it's well documented that our bodies heal when it's in a rest state. So imagine if you can get better sleep and you're in a better rest state, your body's healing even better. So that's a tremendous benefit of it. You just repeat it. You get up the next day, 8 o'clock, you put in another patch, wear for 8 hours, get rid of it. You can wear more than one patch at a time, but you only get about 40% in improvement if you wear two. But again, you only need one to do what it's designed to do. Drink plenty of water, preferably minimal water, preferably water that um, alkaline water, coconut water, water that has anything that enhances the water is going to be improved. Not tap water, but any water that's healthy. Because again, if you drink enough water, if you drink more water, you will be healthier than you are now, even without the patch. So imagine a combination of you drinking it healthy water and you wear that patch. Because remember, water represents flow. And if you got flow in your body, guess what? Things are not stagnant. They're moving around. Your body, is healthier. But if they're not moving around, you know what happens when things don't move? They get sluggish. They get heavy. Again, they get harder to move the longer it takes to move it. So drink plenty of water. And that is why when you go to the emergency room, what is the first thing they do when they roll you into that emergency room? They hydrate you because they know that you probably it's likely that you're dehydrated because most people in this country just do not drink enough water. It's okay to drink other things, but again, your body loves water. So why not give the body what it likes? It does make sense to me. So X39 sounds so sophisticated as simply to explain. I'm going to explain it to you so you can explain it to anyone. With this patch, when you put it on your body, it reflects light back in with it. Many of you seen how people wear with night vision goggles. You can literally see someone in the dark. You can see somebody moving around. You can see animals. You can find people, lost children. And that is the power of what they call those those goggles, night vision goggles. Well, guess what? The reason they can see you at night is because your body is, we are light beings. We give off heat, we give off light, we give off energy. That is why plants always reach towards the sun. They're light beings. All life is based on light. What was the first thing in the book, in the Bible? Let there be light. And guess what? This is what we have. We have light beings. So when you put this patch on, what it does, it actually blocks the infrared light that normally leaves your body, that you see with the infrared, with the night vision goggles, and it reflects it like a mirror. It reflects it back inward so that it activates the copper peptide. And again, what did I say earlier? And what Lauren Picard discovered back in 1973, he said, if you can figure out a way to activate your copper peptides, it will wake up your dormant stem cells. So the combination of Lauren Picard in 1973 and David Schmidt spending 10 years and $5 million of his own money, they figured out, they unlocked the code, if you will. And that is how he came up with X39. After 38 trials, on trial 39, guess what? It works. It does exactly what it says it does. Now, I'm going to share a couple of testimonies. The first one is very dear and near to me because the first testimony is going to be a call I got from my mother. My mother uses the patches religiously. In fact, if she starts to run low on her patches, if they're late with the delivery, she will give me a call and make sure that she has her patches. I'm going to share why. So I'm going to play a short video, not a video. It's not going to be a call that my mother made to me, and I recorded it. I saved it. And then I'm going to show a couple of other testimonies from some other people that have used it. And then on the other side of that, for those of you who are so inclined and you want to know how you can generate a secondary income for your household, you're welcome to stay for the second part of this presentation as we wrap up. But let me share with you these testimonies, and then I will see you on the other side. And that is my mother that I'm leaning on. I was at an award banquet, and that's my sister next to her. And on the right, that is actually this summer in August, I got an award. My mother was always around supporting me. That is her standing up in her 84 years of age. Again, a lot of people can't believe after 9 children, several surgeries, triple bypass. She recently, you know what? Let me play the testimony for you. You're going to hear what she has. She was recently visited. She has in visits twice a year. The nurse comes in the house to give her exam, her physical exam. And after she had her last exam, she called me, and this is what she shared.
Yeah, Derek. I was just letting you know that I had a visit from the visiting nurse, and she took all my vitals and checked me out and everything, and she said everything was fine. And she was so proud of my heart and my blood pressure and everything. She said, "Yeah, you're gonna live to be 100." I told her, "Yeah." She said, "I told her, yeah, I was taking these patches," and I showed her the patches that she gave me, the ones for the silent night and the ice wave. And she took pictures of it because she was saying she was going to check it out. So I said, okay. So she said, well, they're doing you some good. I said, they are. Because I said, you see how I am? Because she was talking about how good my heart was beating and my pressure was good. So I'm really feeling good about it because they seem to be doing pretty good. Okay.
Hi, I'm Kelly. And because of menopause, I used to have 3 intense hot flashes an hour. Now I only have maybe 3 light ones a day. I used to have really intense night sweats. Now I wake up dry, full of energy, alertness, clarity, and full of vigor. I love my wearable technology.
Ms. Gwen, I suffered from chronic sciatic nerve damage for 48 years. No relief, no matter what medication I took, I still was in chronic pain, back pain. After being introduced to this patch over 18 months ago, they put it on my back, and within 5 minutes, my pain left, and I have been pain-free and excited about life ever since.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey. Diabetes, congestive heart failure, stroke. I suffered all these issues in a matter of just over 14 years. The doctors prescribed a congestive heart failure to me, and I had a pacemaker defibrillator. They told me I wouldn't walk. They told me I couldn't talk again. I was able to learn this all over again. But fast forward, after wearing this patch, the diabetes is at a normal A1C level of 6.9. The congestive heart failure is now gone. The stroke, I no longer have the paralysis that I had before with the use of the left side of my body. I'm so excited. This patch absolutely works.
Hi, I'm Wendell, and I suffer from a condition called atrial fibrillation. And that condition causes me to have 3 major strokes. And the doctors, all of them told me I would live with that for the rest of my life. That wasn't a good quality of life at all. But you know something, with this new technology, when I tried it, it began to work. And within 6 months, it had corrected my life. What I mean is this, my PCP and my cardiologist say they see no evidence of my AFib anymore. I can speak better, I can talk, and I was in the scooter after those strokes. Now I can walk better. You know, I'm doing things that I wasn't able to do. So now I have a better quality of life. Please do me a favor. Go tell everyone about it. Tell your family, your friends, everybody, because guess what? You deserve it, and we deserve better quality of life. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lauren. 2 surgeries, constant pain, hypothyroidism, and always exhausted. That was me as a college softball athlete. I began wearing this incredible patch. Now my hip and shoulder pain are gone, my energy's through the roof, and I don't even need naps anymore.
Hi, my name is Janice. I have a son with autism. He's 27. Before wearing this incredible patch, he was not cooperative at home. He won't do any task. He's not focused. A lot of obsessive compulsive behavior, hours of obsessive compulsiveness. And after wearing the patch for 1 year, my son is able to focus better. Medications are working well. He is able to do tasks. He's mopping floors, doing dishes, doing laundry. And most of all, he is now calling me on the phone if he needs me. This patch works, especially with autism. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So those were some of the testimonies. If you get back to the person that invited you, if you tell them the symptom or the challenge that somebody's having, we can likely find a testimony. In fact, some are very recently to deal with it. So now you heard about how you can have health freedom. What is health freedom? It's void of medication. It's void of pain. It's void of all the things that we deal with because we didn't think it would be possible to change it. Guess what? This patch represents health freedom for you and the people that you love about. So if you like what you hear, At the very least, you want to share with the people that you love and care about. I share with my family, my friends, my pastor, the people that I work with, the people that I worship with. Anybody that you care about, share the pastor, because we all have stem cells. Now, financial freedom is an option. Again, you have an opportunity to take advantage of things. Many of us have missed the Microsoft when it got started. Maybe you missed Netflix when they replaced Blockbuster. Maybe many of you missed Bitcoin. You could have bought Bitcoin when it was 5 cents for one coin. So if you would have invested $1 in Bitcoin when it was only 5 cents, you would actually own 20 Bitcoin. Bitcoin went up as high as $120,000 per Bitcoin. So you would have been a millionaire, and in many cases, a multimillionaire, if you would have just taken advantage of something, if you knew about it. Now, many times we just didn't hear about it in time. We're not at the right place at the right time. But guess what? This is your Bitcoin moment with LifeWave. Now, if you have health freedom and financial freedom, guess what? You can also have time freedom. Now, if you didn't have to worry about money and your health was, if you had great health, what would you do? Would you still go to work? Some people love what they do, but some people say, hey, I wouldn't go to work because now I have my own time freedom. I can wake up when I finish sleeping. I can stop sleep shopping. I can read the menu from right to left instead of left to right. You know what I mean? So the bottom line is you have that opportunity with LifeWave. Going to get right into the conversation. Put on your business hat. For those of you, if you never owned the business, doesn't matter. You can understand the reason why people start a business is the reason why you should look at LifeWave as an option. Look at the company's stats. 20-year-old company. In fact, this is their 21st year in business, open in over 75 countries. And the reason that it's having success that it having because it's not a Me Too product. What do I mean by that? It's not weight loss, skincare, supplements, or vitamin. There's absolutely nothing wrong with those things. Some of them work pretty well. But there are 50, 100, thousands of companies that sell all of these products. A lot of them you can get at your local CVS. You can get them on Amazon. You can even get supplements. I've seen supplements and vitamins at the local gas station. So the bottom line is competition is very steep. You have a lot of options. Not with LifeWave. You can only get it through this company because we are a patent. We have another 15 years of exclusivity. So you're at your Bitcoin moment because, again, we have another 15 years left on the patent. The company averaged about $20 million for its first 20 years in business, and that is because the only people who knew about LifeWave were doctors, nurses, medical practitioners, holistic healers, massage therapists. People, again, they were basically sharing it with their clients. But in 2021, between a gentleman and his wife, Steve and Gina Merritt, they are marketers, and they were waiting, they were praying for 6 years to find a company to align themselves with because they've created multimillionaires in the past, but they just couldn't find the right fit. And when they saw LifeWave, guess what? They took the company and they were very highly responsible for the company going from $20 million in 2021 to $320 million in 22, $430 million in 23. Last year, over $600 million on its way to be a billion-dollar company and eventually a multi-billion-dollar company. So you are at the right place at the right time with the right company. And as I said, Steve and Gina Merritt started the This Is It team. We are part of the This Is It team because once they saw what this patch did, they just couldn't help but say, you know what, this is it. This is it. So we're part of This Is It team. And again, we are responsible for a great deal of the company's growth over the last few years. And the company, in fact, in 3 years of our team being part of LifeWave, there's already 30 people who have been inducted into the $1 million clubs. That means they earned over $1 million in LifeWave in a short 3 years. There's plenty of room for many more. I don't know about you, but I'm on that list. Now, if you look at the growth, the company was actually ranked the #1 momentum company by businessforhome.org 2 years in a row. Business for Home monitors 6,000 companies worldwide. 6,000 companies. We're ranked #1 2 years in a row for momentum and growth. So if you ever want to get on a train that's going fast downhill with no gears and no brakes, this is that train. You want to get on it before you miss it. Okay. These are the founders. If you see in the far left, that's David Schmidt in a light blue shirt. He won the Direct Selling Network's Global Bravo Awards, which is generally given to a new company. But again, this is like a 20-year-old startup because even though the company's been around 20 years, now the company's been taken to the market and is heard now around the world. But think about it. Most people have not even heard of it yet. We haven't even scratched the surface. And then what you're looking at behind them, that is a team event. That's not a company event. This is a team in Orlando, Florida, 2 years ago. And we had another event this past August. We were back in Orlando, and we're going to be back next year as well. and that number is going to keep growing. You have an opportunity to be part of that growth. Now, what is important to you? Family time, security, travel, better health, less debt. We talked about our mission. Our mission is to eradicate bad health as well as eliminate bad debt. We have an opportunity to do that with this company, and let me show you how you can do that. Now, the way we get compensated, we have a structure called a binary. Binary simply means two. You have a left team and a right team. Think about it like franchising. Let's say you have a relative, or you have somebody that you know that sick and tired of being sick and tired, is somebody who's tired of their job. And let's say you share with four people, and you have two of them on your left, and you place two of them on your right. And now you build to what's called the first position in our company, which everyone strives to call a manager. Once you become manager, you have an opportunity to participate in this binary structure. And the great thing about a binary is every time someone joins after you, they have to be on your left or right team. So they're going to be tens, hundreds, thousands of people that are responsible for your income, because everything they do goes into what's called commissionable volume. You can earn anywhere from $100 to $25,000 per week in the binary. That's right. I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say your name is Shirley. You got started today, and you invited somebody named Linda, Anthony, Karen, and Charles. Those four people. They could be family members. They could be friends. They could be coworkers. They could be entrepreneurs. They could be people that you know who are looking for opportunity. Once you do that, to position you as the manager, and all you have to do is help them do the same. And every time you help them become manager, guess what? You get elevated and move up in rank. And as you move up in rank, that means more income. Okay, so we call that a binary. Just means two. You can earn up to $25,000 in the binary. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a nice cap. That's about a $1.2 million a year that you eligible to earn, and this is just one of four ways we get compensated. After the end of this month, they're going to enhance the compensation plan. It's going to be 9 ways to get compensated. But let me just focus on just 2 right away. That should be enough to give you the incentive to join. We have what's called a matching bonus. The way the matching bonus works is if you enroll and share this opportunity with anyone, and they decide they want to partner with you and use the patches and share them, because what we do is we buy these patches, we use them for ourselves. This is what I call an investment in my health. So I make sure I have them every month. So we buy the patches. I also give some out. I share patches with people I love. That's why my mother, my brother use them. My wife uses them. They all use the patches because we share the patches with other people. Now, guess what? They have the opportunity to do the same. So let's say that they're in your first generation. You share with somebody. Let's say again, your name is Shirley. You share with Linda. Linda's on Shirley's first level. That means whatever Linda does, Shirley's going to earn a matching bonus of 25% of what she earned. So let's say she earned $1,000 this week. That means $250 is going to go to the person who invited them. So let's say you invite somebody there in your second generation, and a lot of times it's somebody you don't know. The company gave you a 20% match. Let's say they had $1,000 a week. Guess what? That's $200 a week that comes to you, and it doesn't come out of their earnings. That happens for 3 generations or 3 levels where you get another 20% match. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about the compensation plan. We do have trainings. We have a website. We have videos. We have so much information. For those of you who decide to partner with us, we will give you all the details that you need. Just understand this, and this is the simplest way I can explain it. We share the patches, we use the patches, and we have other people do the same. And the more people you share with, the more you can earn. If you can understand that, you understand that you have mastered our compensation plan. Now, to get started, you simply fill out a form. I'm going to blow it up so you can see a little better. And there's a couple of ways to get started. First and foremost, you can get started by getting one of our packs. Now, these packs, again, are bundles, so you get a discount. Normally, if you would actually purchase the X39 patches, you would get them in something called a sleeve. This is the sleeve. Sleeve has 30 of these patches in it, so it's a 1-month supply. Remember, this is an investment in your health. You can get 3 of these sleeves. Again, if you buy retail, it's $149.95. So if you bought 2 sleeves at retail, you're spending $300 just for 2 sleeves. But if you get the package and you come in as a core member, you're going to get 3 sleeves, which is a 90-day supply for $295. You get a slight discount. You get 3 sleeves. You are just beginning to experience it. Now, the minimum, you should get no less than a 90-day supply of using these patches. Now, there's points accumulating. Those points are what I say become commissionable volume that you get paid on. Now, if you're a business person, you have a business mind, you're an entrepreneur, and you want to have success, you can start your LifeWave business with what's called the Advanced Pack. Now, the Advanced Pack is $535, so you get another slight discount. So instead of paying $600, because the wholesale price is $99.95, You get it for $535. So you get a slight discount and you have a 6-month supply. Now, at a minimum, I would say you need 2 because you need 1 sleeve for yourself, 30-day supply. I have another sleeve for my wife. Get another one for my mother, and I have a brother who's not working, who's sick, and I help him get the patches as well. But again, so you need to invest in at least 1 sleeve a month. Now, the 1 sleeve a month, what that does, it makes sure that your volume accumulates. That means in that binary that I showed you, all those people that are going to come after you, they're buying the patches, they're using the patches, they're giving out samples. Volume is accumulating. It's like a bank account. As long as you have 1 sleeve a month on record on auto ship, that volume accumulates and just keeps growing. So it's more money for you. Now, if you want to get started at the best place to get started, if you can, I would say it's the premium pack. The premium pack, you get $2,000 worth of these sleeves for $1,750. So it comes out to about $87.50 per sleeve. The benefit to that is you don't have to place an order for 90 days because, again, your order ship is covered for the first 90 days. Again, so you save money in several ways, but also you have a lot of inventory to work with. If you know a lot of people and you want to move fast and you want to have success, you want to get the premium pack. Now, if you can't start with the premium pack, get advanced. If you can't get the advanced, get the core. They all come with a 30-day, 100% money back guarantee. And if you start at the core, you can always upgrade to advanced by just paying the difference. And if you go from core to advanced, you get you pay the additional cost, but you get the additional amount of sleeves. So you get 3 additional sleeves by upgrading. And you could also upgrade up to premium. So again, if you can't start at the premium, get in when you fit in, but do get started. Make sure you have a monthly subscription on to keep your volume growing, but you need at least a 2 sleeve subscription to maximize the compensation plan. You can make up to $100 a week with 1 sleeve on order ship, but you can maximize the compensation plan with just 2 sleeves a month. Even if you're working by yourself, you need 2 sleeves because 1 you need for yourself. You need to invest in your health. And I always tell people, if you don't think about the cost. It's not the cost, it's the value. Because again, if you think the cost of a sleeve, which is an investment, is costly, what is the cost of bad health? You know what the cost with health insurance about to go through the roof with all things that's happening around the world. Again, health is going to go. The cost of health maintenance and health insurance is going up. So again, you have an opportunity to change lives both on a physical and a financial level. All right. Now, if you want more information, go to thisitinfo.com. Don't do the lazy Google search. Google, again, if you're an experienced marketer, you know how to redirect people to anywhere. That is why you might see something, you click on it, then you wonder how do you wind up somewhere else. We did all the work for you. Thisitit.com. Thisitinfo.com has all information, including video I shared at the beginning of this presentation. The clinical studies, the trials, the testimonies are all there. If you want to know how we build our businesses and know what to do, This is the team is our training site. So we have everything in that you need to build a business. It's a turnkey business. That means you don't have to figure things out. You don't have to figure out what do I say? When are the presentations? How about the compensation plan? How do I set up my wallet to get paid? All those things are given to you in that team. And before I go further, I want to check and see if I have one of my special guests on the call. This gentleman is well known throughout the world, in particular U.S. He's a well-known. He has a background of 30 plus years in finances. He's a financial wizard. He also has, he's a hydration specialist. He's a painologist, if you want to know what that means. He's in demand from churches and bishops. They're calling him all the time and say, hey, can you come on out to our church and speak to our congregation? Could you come on this podcast? Can you come on a radio show? Can you come on TV? He's done it all, and he's a man with a plan. So if I want to see if my good friend and Dr. Anthony Stroman, if you're online, would you mind unmuting and just share with our guests why they are here and why they should make sure to not leave without getting patched?
Oh my goodness. Mr. Hawkins, can you hear me, sir?
Loud and clear.
All right, thank you, man. I love your mother's testimony. Every time I hear it, I love it, I love it, I love it. So good evening, all you wonderful people. Mr. Hawkins, you did an outstanding job as usual. And I'm just going to say a few things about what Mr. Hawkins said. He's talk about timing, guys. You got to, you hit it a lot, but it really is serious in the times that we're living in. Everybody's talking about the wealth transfer, but with LifeWave, you can have not only the wealth transfer, but you can also have the health transfer at the same time under one umbrella. I want you to think about that because the world's looking for solutions and we have the solution with LifeWave. Because right now in our world, we have a health gap and a wealth gap and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's a national emergency. But anytime there's an emergency, there is a solution. LifeWave have that solution. So the solution is LifeWave because we got everything under one umbrella. Remember what Hawkins said, 20-something years, nobody can do what we do. So we're in a very unique position. Hopefully your eyes are open. You've got the right glasses on, you're going to make the right decision. So we pray that you make the right decision tonight and lock arms with us and join this powerful movement. Mr. Hawkins, thank you for the opportunity to share, my friend. Thank you so very much. God bless you guys. Have a long, strong evening, and we'll talk soon. Thanks, Hawkins.
Thank you, Dr. Sherman. Glad you was able to steal away. Time is always not always easy to get Dr. Sherman. For those of you know him, he's in high demand, and we are fortunate and blessed that he is part of our team. All right, so if you go to the This Is It info site and you go to the top of the screen, you're going to see a tab that says testimonies. It will take you to this page where you will see testimonies on neuropathy, migraine headaches, bladder improvement, inflammation, hearing, medication savings, neuromuscular issues, improved blood sugar levels. So whatever symptom that you have, click on the link and you will be able to see several testimonies and how this helping so many people. In terms of marketing, we do have a way that we share this opportunity with people. We give them this card is about the size of an index card. On one side, it tells you the benefits of X39. On the other side, it has the site, thisisitinfo.com. You give this and a couple of samples to people that you know, and guess what? It does the work for you. They go to thisisitinfo.com. It tells them everything they need to know, answers all of their questions. So you don't have to try to be a scientist, a doctor. You don't have to really know much. All you have to do is ask someone if they knows anything about stem cells. Whatever their responses, they listen to have been shared with a technology that's helping people heal their bodies and do a lot of things. Please go to the site and watch these videos, and that's all you have to do. You don't have to try to explain it. If they ask you questions, say, great, your question will be answered by going to the site. We also have an app, a phone app, that's free for brand partners where you can actually share videos with other people. You can keep track of who looked at videos. You can share testimonies. So you can use that app like a business in hand. So now it's time to make your move. On a scale of 1 to 10, just rate yourself. 1 to 10, 1 being that you're not interested in particularly being a brand partner and taking advantage of the opportunities to generate wealth for yourself and your family, but you are interested in, like Dr. said, is your health transfer. So at the very least, you want to try the patches. You want to use them. You want to see the benefits of it. But for those of you, if you're serious about your dream, you've always wanted to do things. You always wanted to have certain things. You always wanted to travel. Maybe you wanted to buy the house that you always wanted. Maybe it's paying off your church's um, house. What do they call it? The building fund. Maybe you want to pay for a family member who you know is struggling. Maybe you just want to help people. Well, guess what? You have the opportunity to do so. If you're anywhere from a 5 to a 10, that means you're interested, but you have questions that you need to get answered. Get your questions answered today, tonight. Don't wait. Don't hesitate, because again, your life can change in the twinkle of an eye, and you have an opportunity to shift that very quickly with the use of these patches. But you want to get started right away. We have a big convention coming up next week in Anaheim, California, where 10,000 people are going to be coming from all over the world. It is called Share the Light Conference. It's going to be in Anaheim, California. On the last day of the convention, which is actually that Sunday, our team is having a special event that is free for all of our members. So if you happen to be in the vicinity of California, you can come to that event on Sunday. But if you want to come to the convention, you have to register. There's still time to register. That's going to be Friday and Saturday. But on Sunday, there is a free event by our team. For those of you who live in Houston, Texas, save the date, November 15th. One of our partners, none other than Z.R. Kendrick, he's an executive director, is going to be doing a special event in Houston, Texas on November the 15th. On December the 5th to the 6th, we have what's called a regional event. Stephen, Jean, and Merritt will be there. So some of the other leaders in LifeWave is going to be there at this event. Again, that's going to be in Atlanta, December the 5th to 6th. It's a Friday and Saturday. You can register for that event as well. Get back to the person that invited you for the information. But those of you again who are here, just understand this. If what you saw makes sense to you, it's going to make sense to people that you no longer care about. So you have an opportunity to take advantage of it. And many of us, if you think about your lifetime, how many times have you had an opportunity to be at the right place at the right time and take advantage of it? Now, I know for most of us, there's generally either one or two chances in your lifetime that you're going to come across an opportunity that I call a Bitcoin moment, a Netflix moment, an Amazon moment. Many of you knew about some things and didn't take advantage of it. But since we only have one or two opportunities that are life-changing in our life and what we do, ask yourself this question before you make your decision. Is this your first opportunity or is this your last? With that, I want to thank you all for joining us. I want to get back to the person that invited you. Make sure if you didn't put your name in the chat, indicate in the chat who invited you. And then I'm just going to close out with the video. I will see you all on the beaches of the world. Have a good night. God bless you all. And I will see you on the next one.